So guys, some context over here, okay? I've been here for 2 days. I've been driving the 1.5T CRV. This is the first time I'm actually driving, well, the first morning I'm driving the hybrid. So powertrain wise, you all know the story, right? It's a lot like the Civic range. So you have the 1.5T, which is a higher tune, 193 PS and 243 Newton meters, okay? And then you have the RS, which has the 2-liter Atkinson cycle NA engine feeding a generator, going to a motor, a battery, and then to the motors, okay? The motor output is 184 PS and 335 Newton meters of torque. And that's what's important, okay? All front-wheel drive, even though in Thailand you do get a four-wheel drive option, an all-wheel drive option. In Malaysia, you get a front-wheel drive only configuration throughout the range, and that is fine. So, sitting here right now, I've been driving this car, and it's really pretty damn good. It's an all-rounder in the same way the Civic is, except of course, it's an SUV. Practicality comes first, it's a bit more soft. And of course, I'm in the hybrid with more torque, and I'm going to use that torque now. Yeah, that's a lot of torque. What up? Jim from Carlist, and I'm here in Thailand, one of my favorite places to take a look at this, the all-new 6th generation Honda CR-V. So first of all, the exterior, it looks real good now. There's a lot going on with the outside. Best looking CR-V yet, I think, is no question. And the old one was good, but this has been hitting the gym. Still a family man, so to say, but it's got Chad-like definitions now. And like the Civic, it's got a continental, not so Japanese look about it, but I think this looks like an American SUV most of all. Look how swept back the A-pillar is. Look how flat the bonnet is. Even got some Audi resemblance in the front grille. And come on, look at those taillights and side profile, especially in white. This looks so much like a Volvo V60. And the wheels are a bit small though, only 18 inches in all variants, even on the RS coming to Malaysia. We'll see how that pans out. Though the highest spec does also get a fancier black finish. And speaking of the Civic, you get the two same powertrains, the 1.5 VTEC turbo and the 2-liter EHEV IMMD hybrid. So the turbo gets a higher tune, 193 PS and 240 Newton meters of torque, okay? But really, it's the EHEV that is the performance and fuel economy king, because it has 335 Newton meters of torque. So a lot of torque, a lot of acceleration from this super impressive powertrain. To me, it's a great choice for an SUV. So look, inside, you cannot fight Honda with this, okay? The packaging game is just on point. Everything here is familiar, I'll get to that in a second, but also very big. This SUV is a very large one. There's so much space in here, it's nuts. Okay, you do have that familiarity, right? You have a very similar looking dashboard and interior feel and fit and finish and material mix as the Civic FE, and because that's pretty much by design, you have this grille here with the air conditioning vents, very Civic FE over here. You get an 8-inch screen, very Civic FE, digital display as well, and the classic that is being used in all the Honda cars, gear lever. In the City, HR-V, the Civic, and now a new CR-V as well. They can't seem to ditch this gear lever design, which is fine. I like it, but maybe give it some extra finishing or some stitching or padding or whatever to make it different and more upmarket compared to other, cars in their lineup. And same thing goes for the seats as well. I like the fact that they're very comfortable. There are all these perforations going on. It's supportive and everything, but I wish they would just give it more contrast. Like they did with the City 1.5V, you can have it, or you could have it with a white accent. That elevated the interior so much, and I would want to see that in this car too. There is wood trim here and there, and that does add a bit of class. Overall, it's a nice interior and a step up over the old CR-V, but is it enough to declare this a flagship? I don't know quite yet, but it is nice. So, life in the rear seats. Of course, this is an SUV. It's very spacious. Lots of headroom. I'm about 165 cm, and I have plenty of headroom over here. My seat is actually moved all the way to the front, but I can actually move it all the way to the back as well for more legroom. The floor is almost completely flat. You have two USB-C ports down here, air conditioning vents, a lot of legroom, like I said, headroom, and look how much you can actually recline the seats. This is all the way up right here, right like that. You can recline it all the way down here as well. So it's no shocker that this CRV is going to be the most expensive one. Is it justified in its price? I don't know. You might know the price right now, but as I'm recording this, I have no idea what the price is, but I can guess it's over 200,000 ringgit. Is it worth, let's say I'm correct, is it worth the asking price? Sitting in here, driving the car, it is definitely a few notches above the previous generation CRV in terms of like the refinement and sophistication and mix of materials. So I would say in that respect, it is worth the extra money. In the same way that the Civic FC and the Civic FE, the FE was a step up in every respect, right? You have more refinement, you have a better design that's more continental or European or American or whatever you want to call it, okay? It's not as Japanese, it's more rounded and more people-pleasing, I would say. In the same way, it is a more premium product. This applies to the CRV as well. The newer CRV, so let's say, sorry, the older CRV, that was a step up over the previous gen, the 4th gen CRV, right? And this 6th gen takes that whole like upmarket push a step further. Driving right now, I'm on a highway, it's a bit rutted, there is some, you know, some road noise creeping in here and there. And I know the engine is turned on and, you know, supplying energy to the electric motor and battery, but that's beside the point. Right now, I'm in a car that is very refined, and if I take the badge away, I can't really tell that I'm in a Honda. In fact, looking at the materials I'm feeling and the fact that I got extra light coming through, you know what that means? I have a sunroof, but there's no sunroof in the Malaysia spec. Never mind that. Take the badge away, and all the stuff that I'm seeing and touching and playing around with tells me that I'm in a more expensive car, and justifiably so. The new CRV is more expensive, the most expensive CRV yet. Okay, let's just touch on the differences between the 1.5T and the hybrid. Okay, the HEV, this is the IMMD system. I can explain in another video how that works, but it's a hybrid, not plug-in, okay? So it's really meant for refinement, city driving, but as I showed over there, it's got more performance. In a drag race, this thing, the hybrid, will win. But I will say, the 1.5T is the sportier feeling. They both handle the same, by the way, okay? The hybrid and the turbo handle almost identically. If not identically, then I'm not good enough to figure out what differences they are, because they weigh very similarly, and because I was driving the all-wheel drive version, right? And they also don't have any suspension tweaks that I can really say, because they corner very similarly. They have this sort of softer handling profile to them. It's an SUV, right? So it won't be as sharp. Then again, I was saying the same thing about the Civic FE. It's not exactly sharp, you know, despite having PS4 tires and everything. It was just kind of like an all-rounder, sporty when you want it to be, and not so sporty and just kind of like relaxing to drive when you want it to be as well. Same thing goes for this. And again, I keep drawing the similarities, the parallels between this car and the Civic, because essentially what I'm experiencing right now is a higher riding Civic. Is it the benchmark? You know, I just begun with that statement because the CRV, I'm not an SUV guy, but I can blame the CRV for a lot of the shift toward favoritism, you know, in the automaker space for SUVs, because this kind of shifted everyone's thinking and appeal. Suddenly SUVs became the norm. Oh, I live in a city, SUV. Oh, I live outside the city, SUV. I live in a condo. I'm a family man. I'm a single person. I buy an SUV. That's the first thing that comes to mind. The default car is an SUV, and the CRV is to blame. But now, at least I can say, the CRV is a car that I would buy. It's more desirable because it's more upmarket, because it looks so handsome, and you know, it's got performance. Doesn't really matter if you buy this version, the hybrid or the turbo. The turbo, by the way, it feels the more connected because of the powertrain. You know, you have actually functioning paddle shifters instead of this anyway, not so functioning paddle shifters. It just kind of like gives you more regen braking. You feel more connected to it as a driver's object. Right now the hybrid, very refined, very fast, very competent, but is it the definition of the new breed of SUVs? You know, is it as competent as it should be? Does it show the way forward? Does the CRV just leave everyone else in the dust like its predecessors have? No idea right now. I can't put my finger on it, or right now I can say it's very, very good. And despite me being sort of against SUVs, I'm pretty tempted to buy an SUV if I could afford it. This car. Maybe I would pick this over a CX-5 even, because it's that good. I gotta let it simmer and let my opinion develop more. But right now, it's a really, really impressive SUV, guys. Until next time, this is Jim from Carlist. Over and out.